In this video, I'm going to show you some tools that can be used to type math on a computer. We'll look at this in the context of a Canvas discussion, but these tools can be used anywhere in Canvas where you have the rich text editor, and in fact, some of them are useful outside of Canvas as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click Reply here, and then I'm going to choose this little plug. When I click this, I already see Insert EquatIO Equation because I've done this before. But if you haven't used that before, click View All, and then in the search bar type Insert, and you'll get that option to Insert EquatIO Equation. And it'll open up this window where you could just start typing. So maybe I want to type the equation for a rational function, f of x equals, and then to get a fraction, I can type the slash, the divided by, and then x, if I want to square it, I can do the superscript by doing Shift 6, and a down arrow gets me out of the superscript, x squared minus 2x plus 1 over x minus 1. If I wanted to type a square root, if I type a backslash and then SQRT, see how the font changes? That means that's something it's recognizing. Then I push a space and I get the square root symbol. There is also a speech to math option. It's not real good at figuring out exactly what you're saying if you have a complicated expression, but for getting started with something that you're not sure how to type, it can be helpful. Click the microphone, and then I am going to ask it to do a limit followed by a fraction, but then I'm going to fill the rest in by hand. So I'll click here to start recording. Limit, fraction. And then it gives me this expression. Maybe I wanted limit as h goes to 0. I can fix it there, and then I can type in on the top and bottom of the fraction whatever I might want. And another option would be to do handwriting recognition. So I can click the little pencil here, and then maybe I want to do a derivative of the cube root of something. That looks pretty good. The most powerful option here is this LaTeX editor button. LaTeX is a mathematical typesetting language that if you do math and science in college, it's entirely possible. You'll have to learn to use this. It does have a bit of a learning curve, but there are some tools that can make it a lot easier. And I'm going to show you a tool right now that sort of guides you through making LaTeX expressions, which you could then paste into anywhere that accepts them, like this. If I click this button right now, I'll see the LaTeX that has produced the language that's there right now. If I delete all this, my math screen will go blank, and I can either type LaTeX directly in here, or I could go to another tool that would produce it for me and paste it here. That's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to go to this site called Mathcha. Here's the URL. And when you first open the editor, it'll give you some advice. And very useful advice on this site is that the backslash gives you a suggestion box. And they suggest we try a math container. A math container is this green area in which the things you type are expected to be math. I'm going to go to Next on their suggestions. Make sure my cursor is inside the green area with the green cursor, and then type the math you want. They're suggesting try A equals plus minus. And you notice that by default it puts that plus and minus together like we often want in math, and then it reminds me I can use the backslash to trigger the suggestion box, and then under the suggestion box I see these other things I might want, fraction, square root. It says try a square root, let's do that, and then we can type b squared plus c squared or whatever. Okay, this is just an example. I could delete everything that's in there and have a blank. So let's try what they told us. Let's use a backslash to get the suggestion box. Let's try a math container. When we're in there, try a backslash. And let's see if I want to limit. What happens if, there's limit, x, and then dash greater than gives me an arrow. X goes to 0. And then again, if I forget what I'm doing, I can type a backslash. I want a fraction, f of x plus h minus f of x over h Oops, I didn't want x goes to 0, I want h goes to 0, so I'll go in and change that. Now that I've created a mathematical expression, I can export it. I can either export it as an image, copy as an image to the clipboard, or to use that LaTeX feature in EquatIO, I can copy the LaTeX to clipboard. And it tells me the LaTeX been copied. Now I'm going to go back to the discussion, Control V to paste, and there's my LaTeX. And if I do Insert Math, puts it right there in the Canvas discussion. If you're interested in really digging in and learning about LaTeX, you can go to the General Course Information module in our Canvas course, and you'll find a page called Learn LaTeX. And on that page, you'll find a link to a site created by high school teacher Michelle Crummell with tutorials on learning LaTeX. She gives you options for actually installing LaTeX on Windows or Mac, but I wouldn't bother with those. I think it's really easy to use instead Overleaf, which is an online site where you can create LaTeX documents. Then once you've got your Overleaf account set up, you can go through the tutorials that Michelle Crummell has here. Or if you're not interested in learning LaTeX, just use those tips from earlier in the video.